stages of London to the theatres of Broadway, I've dazzled audiences everywhere. Nobody throws down like him, raise the duelist time. Duel Academy, Orlando has arrived! Tearing my skin! Yeah, never say die, gotta go.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to more of the Dynasty series. It's me, Cooper, and today we're going to be talking about Orlando, the actor that showed up at Duel Academy and had a duel with Jaden with a bunch of cards that do not exist and probably never will. And because of that, I've had to make up a deck for Orlando that I thought would suit him well. So his actor deck had one monster that did exist, and that was Armed Samurai Ben-Kei. Therefore, I decided to give him a warrior deck with like one beast and one rock, whatever. I gave him a warrior-ish deck with a bunch of equip spells. So, let's go ahead and take a peek at what Orlando's using in my made-up deck. We have Chu-Ske the Mouse Fighter. We have Master Monk, the boss monster, mini-boss. We have the Combo Fighter. We have Giant Rats. We have Armed Samurai Ben-Kei, the true boss. We have Monk Fighter, and that's it. That's all Orlando has when it comes to monsters. Moving into spells, he's got Graceful, he's got Kaminote Blow, which I actually don't even know what that does. Activate if there's at least one face-up Chu-Ske, Monk Fighter, or Master Monk on your side of the field. Destroy the monster that battles with these monsters on your side of the field at the end of the damage step. So, okay. So if you have those monsters on the field, you can destroy any monster on the field no matter what after attacking them, even if you die with it. We also have Black Pendants for equip spells. We have Legendary Black Belts, which is specifically for Chu-Ske, Master Monk, and Monk Fighter, which this card lets you do piercing damage, which is very nice. We have Malevolent Nuzzlers, we have Sword of Deep-Seated, and we have the Lone Wolf Trap card. Activate only if if the one and only monster on your side of the field is Chu-Ske, Monk Fighter, or Master Monk. That monster cannot be destroyed as a result of battle and is unaffected by your opponent's monster effects. Therefore, those monsters are immune to like man-eater bugs, stuff like that, and will not be destroyed by battle. So, we're going to go ahead and move into good old Orlando's stats with this deck. So, looking at their... Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, those stats are absolutely awful. I am not going to sugarcoat this. Orlando's deck is ass. When it comes to attack stat, his best monster only has 19. And that's a tribute monster. Everything else, he only goes up to 16 on Combo Fighter. So overall, not very good. And he has equip spells to help out with that situation. So maybe that'll change it. The only ones that give you attack are Black Pendant, Sword, and Malevolent Nuzzler. Everything else does not give attack points. But he at least has those. But he definitely has below average attack because most of his monsters are below average. In fact, all of them except Combo Fighter are below average. Moving into the speed stat, yeah, Giant Rat is his speed. Sword of the Deep-Seated also could be searched. I'm trying to figure out, guys, this is not good. He does not have very good speed stat. I think Combo Fighter can attack twice, right? If a chain of 2 or more links occurred in your main phase, this card can attack twice. Okay, so if you could get things to chain, you can at least attack twice with Combo Fighter, which is nice. But this deck isn't really about chaining. It has one quick play spell, so you're going to have to chain Mystical Space Typhoon off of one of these other cards. Or you could try Lone Wolfing at the same time that you do one of these other cards. Overall, not the best for chaining either. Speed is not good here. Speed is not good. Armed Samurai Ben-Kei can attack a bunch of times. That might help out, but overall not good. Moving on to the skill stat. There is some skill in this deck. I would say it has an average skill stat. Why? Because this card can pop cards for free. This card does all triple Black Pendants do burn. Legendary Black Belts lets you do piercing. Anything with piercing counts. And Lone Wolf lets you stall because you could have monsters that can't be destroyed by battle. Therefore, you could actually just summon these monsters in defense mode and then just let them stay there until your opponent has a way of popping or piercing or burning you to death. So there is a deck out strategy, sadly, because Sword of the Deep-Seated will almost always make sure you have one in your hand. It's actually a pretty good card. When this card is sent to your graveyard, place it to the top of your deck. In other words, just keep like 6 cards in your hand, and then keep tossing Sword of the Deep-Seated for an infinite drawing strategy, and you could deck out your opponents that way as long as you know your opponent cannot beat you any other way. Problem is, Orlando, there's a lot of people that can beat you with plenty of strategies in this series. There are very few people that have like a no skill stat. But overall, he still has a deck out strategy. He has a little bit of direct damage strategy with legendary stuff. He has Black Pendant Burn. That ass. All of them ass. All of them but Giant Rat at 1450, which is not enough. All of this is ass. Terrible defense stat. Below average. Far below average. Just terrible. Luck stat. Yeah, you know what? Just a tip of luck. Because you're going to need to... I don't know. There is no luck. This deck sucks. Oh my god. This deck is so bad. Yeah, no, I can't even say it. This deck is just terrible. Moving into brick stat. You will brick. 100%. You could just... I've tested this deck. You could just have a million equip spells, a bunch of Kaminote Blows, and no monsters to use it with. And you can get stuck with Lone Wolf as well. This deck, you're going to brick. This deck, you are going to be low on attack. This deck, you're going to be low in defense. This deck, you're not going to be very fast with speed. This is possibly the worst deck I've shown so far. Like, it's maybe not the absolute worst, but it is one of the worst decks I've shown in Season 2. Orlando, I'm sorry, I know you want to be on the big stage, you're a professional duelist, you're trying to entertain people with your deck. The only thing entertaining about this deck is if it wins. And honestly, the chances of this deck winning the tournament is not possible. It's not going to win the tournament. When it comes to Orlando, I would say his potential for this deck, if I were to be the nicest guy in the world, I would give this deck... It's even lacking on monsters. Only 18 monsters. And 3 of them you can't even summon without these 3. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm going to give it to him. He's getting a 1-star. Oh, God. Yeah, he's getting an actual 1-star. Just looking at this deck makes me sick. It is not a good deck. This deck falls apart super easily. Yes, there are some very fringe strategies that might have some possibilities of working. Maybe you can win a duel if you are lucky. But in my opinion, this deck is going to lose. This deck isn't even going to get past round 1. They might win 1 duel within a match, not a match. So, that's going to be it for good old Orlando. I'm sorry I don't have more to say about this character. He was one of those one-offs I really didn't care about. All of his cards were all about acting and, like, you know, just they're not very interesting cards, to be honest. So, his deck is honestly kind of cool because I do like Master Monk and Monk Fighter. Like, these are, and Chu-Ske, these are cards you don't see very often, but they have their own little archetype going on with Legendary Black Belt and Lone Wolf and Kaminote Blow. But they suck. And this deck sucks, and the chances of winning with this deck is very low. If you think you can make this deck work in the tournament, you copy it down and you think you can actually do it, then try to play as Orlando and show me that you can make this deck work. Personally, in test duels, this deck lost like 99% of the time. So, I'll see you all next time. Please remember to like and subscribe, and goodbye.